So time to get a few jobs done on the Volvo, get it ready for the summer. Now one thing I had last year which was really embarrassing was a groaning noise on the brakes at parking speed. Oh man, it was terrible. It sounded like Chewbacca with a hard on. So I need to pop the calipers and just have a look what's going on there.
Now, one of the more useful tools that I've bought in recent years is one of these electric impact wrenches. You can normally get the air ones that run off a compressor, and I actually have had one of those before, but then it's a bit of a hassle. You've got to set the compressor up, and I bought this to get a crankshaft pulley off of a car, and it done the job really well. And it just, because it uses the it's an impact wrench, so it kind of hits it with power and then backs it off. It doesn't necessarily sort of strip threads or bend anything. But another good use I found of this is the fact that when you take your cars to the tyre shop, they always seem to over torque the wheel nuts. They use their own impact wrenches, and they can be a real bugger to get off, especially if it's like one of the kids' cars or something, a car that I'm not used to. So save sweating and swearing. This thing's perfect for getting off sort of wheel nuts. It takes them off in seconds. I'll give you a little demonstration of it. It's a great tool. It wasn't cheap, but it has been really useful. It saves a lot of cursing and rounding off of wheel nuts.
Now as you saw, that is really powerful, that impact wrench. So when it comes down to the locking wheel nuts, well, don't want to chew up the key, so I still do those by hand with a breaker bar. So time to have a closer look at this caliper. Now I replaced the linings last year, so I know they're fine, but I think what it is, I just didn't put enough sort of copper slip around these sort of points here where the actual pads sort of slide along the carrier. And I think that's where the problem is. They're just sort of catching and grinding on these metal parts. I'll know a lot more once I actually get the caliper off. Now what can be the trickiest part of this job is to get the caliper slide bolts out. Now I was quite fortunate because I did these last year and I replaced them with new ones. But if you haven't done your brakes for a while, these can be a little bit corroded in, and these can start causing the caliper to lock, which can give you sort of brake fade and all sorts of trouble. So it's worth replacing them perhaps if you take them out. And the final thing is just this little spring here that holds the actual pad in place. And that's it, the caliper's now ready to sort of come off. Now just be careful, these are quite heavy, so I use a bungee cord around a coil spring so I don't put any strain on the brake pipe, because if you let these go, that's what can happen. So these are the pads that I put in last year. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be any problem with these. And I think what my problem is just that I didn't put enough sort of copper grease around the carriers and around the carrier itself. Now it's always a good idea when you've got the carrier off just to get some brake cleaner. Just try and clean away all the dust and grime. It's best just to try and keep this as clean as possible to stop the caliper sticking and giving you problems later on. Now so many people shy away from changing their own brake linings, but on pretty much all modern cars it's such an easy job, and you get charged such a lot at the garage just for something quite simple that most people can do themselves. So we're going to start to build the caliper back up now. We'll just slide this disc in and just sort of check that it's free to move backwards and forwards, and I can just sort of see the areas that I need to put some copper grease on, and I've sort of put quite a bit more on this time than I did last time, and hopefully that will stop it sort of grinding for quite a while to come. And that's it, that's the job done. It is so simple. Now I could have very easily replaced the brake pads here, it wouldn't have been any different. And you just have to bolt the caliper back on, do your two slide bolts up. It's always an idea to grease them up, make sure they're nice and free and easy. And then just pop this little retainer clip back on. And that's it, it's done. It should only take you probably 45 minutes even for the first time. Easy job.